It's Wednesday. Are you as glad to be here as I am? I think you may be. Listen to that. Listen to that. Ooh, ooh. Let's experience some more revealing, shall we? And let's sing ourselves here, and let's sing the people who are coming in. The words, if you don't know them already, you know them better than I do. Let's sing this together, shall we? Come on in. We welcome you, yeah. Come on in. Come on in. We welcome you. Let go. Be free. Come on in and take a seat. We're glad you're here. We're spreading love and joy and cheer. So come on in. We welcome. We welcome. We welcome you. Come on in. We welcome. We welcome. We welcome you. Let go. Be free. Come on in and take a seat. We're glad you're here. We're spreading love and joy and cheer. So come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in. We welcome you. Yeah. Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in. We welcome you.
Come on in.
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 Come on in. We welcome you.
Come on in.
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 Come on in. We welcome you. Come on in. You don't know how much fun you make that for me. Well, I just told you, didn't I? We brought our open hearts, didn't we? I know we did. Let's sing and really know that reveal. Reveal, reveal the love inside of me. Reveal the love that I was meant to be. Every time I open up,
love is what I see.
Reveal the love in me. Reveal the peace. Reveal, reveal the peace inside of me. Reveal the peace that I was meant to be. Every time I open up, peace is what I see. Reveal the peace in me. Joy, reveal, reveal the joy inside of me. Joy, reveal the joy that I was meant to be. Every time I open up, joy is what joy, joy, reveal the joy in me. Let's do it again from an even deeper place. Reveal, reveal the love inside of me. Reveal the love that I was meant to be. And so were you. Every time I open up, love is what I see. Reveal the love in me. Reveal the peace. Reveal. Reveal. Reveal the peace inside of me. Reveal the peace that I was meant to be. Every time I open up, peace is what I see. Reveal the peace in me. Reveal the joy. Reveal, reveal, reveal the joy inside of me. Reveal the joy that I was meant to be.
Every time I open up, joy is what I see. Reveal the joy in me.
Thank you so much, Claudia and Jim. The music is just such a wonderful tone. I'm going to put this in so I can hold the book easily. My name is Candace Young-Schultz, and I'm one of the practitioners here at Seaside. And it is my pleasure and privilege as a practitioner here to hold the light and to pray for those in this congregation who wish prayer and for the community. There will be practitioners in the prayer chapel after service. If you would wish prayer, please don't leave without seeing one of us. And now, if you feel comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes and go to that sacred space, that space of knowing truly God is all there is. There is no place that God is not. There is no one in which God is not. For God is everywhere present, in, through, and as all. And as I know that God is present in this sanctuary this evening. And God is expressing its joy, its abundance, its beauty, its health, its wholeness and healing. And I know and affirm that healing happens this evening. Consciousness is expanded. Love is felt. And anything that needs to be heard is heard. And anything that needs to be shared is shared. And I'm grateful for all that has come together to create this experience. For truly, each one here is integral to this glorious, revealing service. And so it is. My reading this evening is from The Quiet Mind, Sayings of White Eagle. The topic of the talk is clear as a bell. And I thought, what brings clarity? What brings clarity to my mind, helping me see truth? And these came. Loving means seeing good. You must learn so to act, so to live each day, that you are naturally at all times a being of love. Love is not sentimentality. Love is seeing good, seeing God, recognizing the divine law of cause and effect working throughout all life. To love is to be tolerant toward all men, towards all the happenings of daily life, to be patient, thoughtful, kind, and meek. All those qualities are contained in the one word, love. Do not judge by what you see on the surface, but develop an inner vision and insight into spiritual cause and effect. Then you will know that you can judge no man, and so it is.
Hello, everybody. Hi. Where are my girls at? Hi. Welcome. Thank you so much, Candace, for that reading and that beautiful prayer. And thank you again to our music team, Claudia and Jim, this evening. Wow. Clear as a bell. You know, this month, our theme is Freedom is Our Birthright. And I promised you last month that we would talk about Emma and that we would dive into Emma Curtis Hopkins. And boy, is she kicking my butt. I don't know how many of you have been following along. This month, we're using the book 40 Days to Freedom with Emma Curtis Hopkins, and I know the bookstore has a bunch more. What I love about it is that we actually get to write in it. And so, of course, over the last few days, I've been doing my daily work and writing in my book. And the things that have been coming forth as a result of not only doing my writing and my daily work, but also reading from Emma's book, the corresponding pages. It has been incredible. It's been incredible because what's happened for me, and maybe it's what's happening for you, is Emma has this vast knowledge. I mean, she's deep. She's so deep that I want to call her Neptune. You know, because she's way deep, right? And sometimes I don't understand what she's talking about. I have to read it again and again and again to get the nuances, because she speaks about this truth in such an absolute. And that's why I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that everything is indeed in divine order, because months ago I picked the topic clear as a bell, not knowing that I would have to read and reread and pray and meditate and genuflect and, do all of that just so that I could be clear as a bell to even say anything here tonight. And that's kind of what it takes. It takes that kind of dedication to our unfoldment. Last week we talked a little bit about naming our good. She talks about a statement of being. She says that one of the first lessons that we should get and should apply is this idea that we get to state our good, that we get to name it. And that which is for our good is our God. God is all. And that simply saying the word God feels more like the intellect. We can say God and we can ponder and contemplate for hours upon hours about the nature of God. And yet, when we say the word good, it comes from here to here. It's this feeling tone. We know what it's like to feel good. And when we make that connection that our good, the good that we seek, is our God, and that God is good, and that those words are interchangeable, we drop from the mind and from the intelligence and from the intellect, we drop into that heart space, into that feeling tone that Ernest Holmes talks about when he says that we are to pray, and to pray with the passion of fire. That means that not only are we to say all these great, beautiful words that sometimes people say, and we go, wow, I can't wait to pray like that. I remember being new in Foundations or 101, and I would hear the practitioners or the ministers pray, and they would talk about the power of the mountains and the beauty of the ocean, and I was like, wow, I can't wait to pray like that. Because there was just this feeling tone that was evoked in the words that were said. There was something that just moved me to this place of, oh yes, that resonates with me. And that's exactly what Emma Curtis Hopkins is talking about, that we must, in fact, not just name our good, but that we indeed must begin to feel and be as clear as a bell that that good is already ours, that it is the only thing that can happen. If we think about the law of cause and effect, and we stick it with the absolute, there is only good. And so only good could come to me. But somehow or another in our day-to-day life, we begin to believe that there's something else, that there's something different. We begin to believe in duality, that there is God and evil, or that there is God and something else. And with Emma, she wants us to really hone in and focus and know and be as clear as a bell that there is no such thing. No such thing. And that the only thing that there can be, because the only thing that there is love, is God, is good. Therefore, since that is all that really does exist, that is already my birthright. Freedom is already mine. Love is already mine. And I experience it to the degree in which I accept it and I know it for myself. And so the struggles, of course, this week as I was looking through the book, doing my personal work, and preparing to be here with you, is that I got an opportunity to uncover the lies that are still active in my own life. Now, what makes this teaching so amazing, at least for me, is that we get to grow together. We get to unfold together. I have had the great opportunity of studying for years and becoming a practitioner and becoming licensed and getting a master's degree and learning and study and more study, and even now as an ordained minister to continue my studies. Though I've had that great experience and all those years of studying and licensing and tests and exams to take, it's just a title that has been bestowed upon me. What I know as the truth is that my life is the life of God, just like your life is that life of God, and that I'm not any more elevated than anyone else. Yet, the more I practice, the more I get to experience the fullness. So I may experience the fullness maybe more than the next person, and then the other person may get to experience more of his or her fullness more than me. But it is done to each of us as we believe. And so, though I've had all these years of experiences and all these years of unfoldment and growth, at this stage of my life and in this stage of my unfoldment, I get to see where there are still some lies that are active in my life. And these lies act as a law unto my life. It's quiet in here. It must be because you identify. Because isn't it true that when we believe in flu season, or when we believe a lie, that it actually comes into play in our life, and it shows us, since this is what we believe, boom, here it is. Oh, this is what you believe, boom, here it is. The universe, the world is set up to prove to you that what you believe and what you think is correct. Oh, you believe in lack and limitation? Let me take that. Thank you. Experience more lack. Oh, you think there's no love? Oh, experience no love. You believe that war, reports of war? Oh, here. Let me turn on the TV for you. And your focus becomes watching the news. So this week, having that opportunity, what day was that? Oh, day 5. When my dear friend Kathy Ann Lewis, who developed this book, when she says here that examples of lies that she has told herself, and maybe you can identify with some of these, is, I'll find someone when I lose weight. In the meantime, me and my plumpy self will just be here alone, lonely, wishing for love, reading novelas. The universe says, why, absolutely. As a matter of fact, here's 10 more new novelas that have come out that are on the top 10 bestsellers. Don't work out. Read this instead, right? Or if I'm nice, they'll like me. So we become people pleasers. We become the chameleon, and we, show the face of who and what we're really not, instead of just being real. Because we believe these lies, and these lies become the law unto our life. Nobody likes a powerful woman, is the lie that she has told herself. So I began to look at my own. So, the vulnerability of your minister, right? When I finish this medication, I'll feel better. when I finish this medication, I'll feel better. What a lie. That which is true of God is true about me. In God, there is no illness, no sickness. For me to know this truth about myself and for me to have that experience is for me to know my wholeness now. That there is a thought and an action and a feeling tone that when in combination with one another can heal the body. Emma says in 5 minutes, if we are but to believe, if we are to know this truth for ourselves. Here's another lie. I have to come up with some new way to keep money flowing in my direction. The truth of the matter is that my good is source and substance, and that is my God. And in God, there is no lack or limitation. It's interesting because I experience levels of it. Dr. Michael Beckwith talks about it as being this upward spiral, that we experience kind of the same themes in life. It's just that as we learn new lessons, these experiences are at a different phase in our life. I remember when I got the call to go to the school of ministry, and I'm thinking to myself, there is no way. No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And still, all these messages, all these, it was just so prevalent. It was just so, you must. This is your calling. This is what you get to do. This is how you get to show up in life. So I go, okay, all right, fine then. But if I'm going to go to a school of ministry, that's like $18,000 just to go. I'm working full time. I don't have that kind of money, so make it happen. There was a surrender within me at that moment. My mind said yes. My body surrendered. The feeling tone of surrender, like, make it happen. I don't want to have to think about it. Make it happen. Make it happen, life. Have this expectancy that if this is my good, this is my God, it will unfold in that way. And don't you know that with ease and with grace, every time a new class came forward, somehow there was money in the account to pay for it. Not to become in debt, the 18, 19,000. But every time the classes came up, there was money in the account to pay for it. And I worked full time. And I didn't neglect my home life. There were no school of ministry widows left behind. Because there was a connection between the intellect and the feeling tone. There was a decision made. There was the erasing of an old idea inserted with a new idea that if this is to happen, then let it be so, and let it happen with ease and with grace. And so it is. And so it is that when we surrender, that when we make a decision, that when we examine the lies that have been acting as a law upon our life, and we look at them and shine the light on them as to what they are, and name them what they are, when we tell the truth of our experience, we begin to see it for what it is and what it is not. And we begin to then uncover the underlying truth about who we are. And that underlying truth of who we are, underneath all of that surface stuff, is our divine truth. But how many of us are willing to dig, to do the work, to uncover those lies The fear that comes up. If I let go of this lie, then what am I going to believe? This lie has been with me since childhood. It's like my best friend. I don't want to lose my best friend, but my best friend has not been serving me. And so we must become as clear as a bell. And we must do the work necessary to uncover these lies that have been running our life. It always baffles me because sometimes I become aware of the lies and I go, wow, like that needs to be replaced. And then other times it's kind of like, wow, well, that lie is still kind of serving me a little bit, so I'm going to hang on to it for a little while. Just being honest, right? And I hang on to it for a little bit and have the displeasure, the unhappiness, the unfulfilled feelings. And then I'm ready. Be like, oh, no. I don't like that one anymore. I'm ready for that to be gone. And it's in our prayer work that we get to address these things, that we get to say, here's the condition that I've been experiencing. Here's what I've been experiencing. Here's what I want to experience instead. What are the qualities? What must I be thinking? What must I be believing? What must I be incorporating into my life in order to have this experience? What must I be getting rid of? And I get to ask myself those kinds of questions in order for the answers to come forth. If I'm not asking myself what lies I'm believing, those lies will just simply stay under the surface and act as law in my life. But I must, if I am to indeed fulfill the mandate of my life, if I am to indeed sing the song of my life, if I am to live fully, then I'm compelled to do the work. So if there's areas in life that are just not satisfying, Michael Beckwith calls it work play. Because it's work, but even though we do the work, as a result of it, then we get to play. We get to play in our freedom. We get to have that abundance. We get to experience it beyond our wildest dreams. We get to experience love in our lives just kind of flowing and being. We get to experience the joy that comes from listening to a bird singing or a baby crying or holding Sparkle, Jim's dog. We get to play in that because we've done the work, thus work play. But if you're happy with what you have, then keep doing what you're doing. But if there are areas in your life where you get to go, there's something else that's calling me, that's pulling me, that's drawing me closer, then we get to do the work. And this month, since we're kind of doing this 40 days to freedom, we might as well do it together. You don't have to do it alone. We never have to do it alone. Even next month, when we're on to a new book and a new topic and a new title, we always have practitioners like Candace and Ed and Sandra and Ginny, and we have ministers here in our community and David. We always have practitioners here that are ready and available to help us along our journey, to help us uncover the lies that we've been living with, that have been ruling our life, to help us replace those lies with the absolute truth of who we are. We don't have to live with the lie. I remember really fully being a minister and thinking to myself, okay, how is it that I get to show up in the world, in my ministry, and be self-supporting or be supported? And I was afraid that I would have to have a job and be a minister. Have a job and be a minister. That's a lot of work, y'all. And I remember fully surrendering to this idea of, I'm a minister. That's who I am. I'm the spiritual, individualized expression of the divine. And the way I get to show up and express in the world is to go on my own spiritual journey and take some folks with me. And also hang out with folks who are on a spiritual journey and tag along with them. Like, that's how I want to show up in the world. And I thought, if that's how I show up in the world, how am I going to eat? How's the mortgage going to get paid? And within me, the answer was clearly, God is my source. That I need not worry about how I was going to eat or dress or be transported from place to place. Like Scripture says, you know, the birds of the field don't worry about where they're going to get their meal. They just are busy flying around, being beautiful, singing their song. And next thing you know, why, look it. There's some substance. And there's some water. And they go about being their bird self. Or the lilies of the field don't worry about how silky smooth their petals are. Or the leaves. They're just busy being beautiful in their glory and in their divinity. They're not worried about, is the sun going to come out and give me vitamin D or whatever it is I need for osmosis to happen and the reverse whatever to do. No. The lilies of the field and the birds and the none of it worries about anything. It's never concerned. There is a divine order. There is only good, there's only God, there's only love, and love is life, and life is simply busy about expressing itself and doing so more fully. How many of you have ever walked down the street and there's a crack in the sidewalk, and out of that sidewalk a tree or a weed or a plant is trying to grow? That's what life does. It just tries to express itself. It doesn't really worry where, I'm in a crack, I'm not in a garden. No, it just expresses. It's just there. Look at me. So what? I'm a weed. Who cares? I'm living fully. Here I am. And that's what Emma's talking about. There is good, and I ought to have it. As a matter of fact, I am it. It already is who and what I am. But until we get to that place that we know absolutely beyond the shadow of a doubt that that life that I am is that life that God is, until I get to that place, there is good, and I ought to have it. It ought to be mine. I ought to experience it. There is abundance, and I ought to experience it. There is joy, and I ought to experience it. There is love and life, and I ought to experience it. Until we get to that place that I know it beyond the shadow of a doubt that it is who and what I am, it's there, and I ought to experience it. There's nothing else outside of that. Nothing. Unless, of course, we think there is. And then that's what we experience. So our work is to know this more and more, to take our time to do the work of connecting what we know with what we feel, that it might be made manifest in our life. You know, Emma talked about in one of these days, on day 3, I've been really doing this work, y'all. She says, and it's actually on page 18 in the Scientific Christian Mental Practice, page 18, paragraph number 3. She says, it is well to give 1 day a week to acknowledging that we are seeking for our good. We tell what our good is. It's not our good. Is not our good the free life that we want? The freedom to express, the freedom to be, the freedom to know and to just be. But she says it is well to give 1 day a week. And I don't know about you, but I was thinking to myself, and actually I was doing the math in the car. I'm like, 1 day a week, that's 24 hours. That's just not like this evening. Well, I'm here, that's 1 day a week. You keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. Just saying. Just give 1 day a week. So if we give 24 hours a week to knowing this truth, to anchoring it into our lives, if we give ourselves 24 hours within the week has 168 hours. We're talking about 14.3%. That's nothing. You sleep more than that. But if we were to give 24 hours a week to dedicate ourselves to knowing this truth, where would we be? Where would we be in 4 weeks, in 8 weeks, in 12 weeks? It's kind of like driving that stick shift. I remember it, being a teenager and trying to drive a stick shift. In the beginning, I got whiplash. The car would shut off all the time. But the more hours and the more time I dedicated to learning how to drive a stick shift, I think I'm pretty good now. I can drive in San Francisco on the hills. Yes, I'm good. I got good at it. Think of something that you're good at. Think of how you've dedicated your life to becoming an accountant or to being a great parent, and the hours and the energy that it has taken to get you to that place, especially if you have a degree, a master's, a bachelor's, a PhD, if you're an attorney, if whatever. Think about what you've dedicated so much time to doing. See yourself. Envision yourself dedicating time like that to knowing your truth, to knowing that your life is that life that God is, to experiencing your birthright, which is freedom. Imagine giving yourself that kind of time so that you can be as clear as a bell and know your truth, so that your every walking experience is that experience of joy, of peace, of love, of abundance, peace of mind, harmony, divine wisdom, beauty, creativity, joy. It's been tough this week for me. And in that toughness, I've uncovered so much that I feel so much lighter now. And a little more clearer about naming my good, about knowing my good, about feeling it, about having that connection, about dedicating conscious time to clearing away the contents of my consciousness that have been lies and filling the contents of my consciousness and the content of my heart with that which is the truth. So let's take a few minutes in the silence to do the same, to simply clear away some of the lies. Today we're on day 8, so as we enter our meditation time together, I'll read the words of Dr. Kathy Ann Lewis and also the words of Emma Curtis Hopkins, where she says, many people would have their good come instantly if they could name it and have a clear idea of how it ought to be. And Dr. Kathy Ann Lewis says, if we could visualize and imagine the desires of our heart, as well as we can visualize or imagine our greatest fears, what wonderful lives could we have? Naming our good takes practice and discipline, like any art form, and there is no better time to begin than today. So let's see our good. Let's begin to name it. Let's begin to see ourselves in it, enjoying it fully, knowing that this is our birthright. we just continue to allow ourselves to go underneath the surface, to dig a little bit deeper, to uncover some of those lies, those mistruths that have been told to us that we have accepted as a truth in our life. We simply shine the light on them and allow them to disappear into the nothingness from which they came. And we anchor in the truth of our life, that right where we are, God is. That God has created everything out of itself. Therefore, our life is indeed that life of God, expressing beautifully and magnificently in these earth suits. And that to the degree in which we accept this truth for ourselves, we absolutely live our genuine and divine lives. So we give thanks for our time in the silence, for our time knowing this truth, for our time practicing, visualizing it, seeing it, sitting in quiet contemplation. However it is that we've used this silence, we give thanks for it, knowing that we have used it effectively, that we might know our life as the life of God, and that through our example, others too may come to this awareness, that they may know that their life is the life that God is. And we continue to do our part to redistribute this good, this knowing, this joy, this peace, this love that is our very life. And we allow it to overflow and spill over, that we might let our light shine, that it might be a beacon for others. As we have seen the beacon shine for us and have been so drawn to the light of this truth, the truth that Emma Curtis Hopkins speaks of, this truth method, telling the truth. The truth is that our life is the life of God. Period. So we live from that place. We continue to speak words of truth to support this. And we allow ourselves to live fully, as clear as a bell, knowing that our life is the divine life of the one life. It is so, and so it is. Amen. Thank you, loved ones, for playing in the silence and allowing yourselves to go there and see it and know it for yourselves. It is our conscious giving time that we give to the spiritual community, our financial gifts and offerings, and showing our gratitude for that which is here for us week after week, day after day, for our own edification, for the edification of our community. And I invite the ushers to come forward, thanking the ushers for their faithful and generous service, and invite you to take your gifts, that which you have brought to share with this community, and to simply become grateful for something or someone in your life. Simply become grateful for that which you are about to give, knowing that you're simply redistributing the good that has already come to you. That the reason you're able to give is because it has been given, and that we're simply moving it forward and pressing it forward so that it can continue to bless as many as possible as we have been blessed. So give it your gift of gratitude. And so we simply bless these gifts, these tithes, these offerings, knowing that we use them that this world may know their life as the life of God. And so it is. And I say, go forth and multiply this consciousness. And as we are giving, prepare your hearts to receive the wonderful music of Claudia. I love her. She's about to give us a big, big blessing. So open your hearts and be ready to receive.
God, look at you, smiling at me through so many faces. Used to look for you way out in the blue, but now I see you, really see you, God. Look at you, speaking through my dreams, my thoughts, my feelings. Used to think your voice always made a noise, but now I hear you, really hear you, God. You're everything. You're the tall, tall mountains. You're the forest streams, oh God. You're that voice inside of me, pulling me to be all I need to be, God. Look at you, ordering my steps through situations. Used to seek your hand through all those commandments, but now I feel you, really feel you, God. You are everyone. You're the wisest mother. You're that long lost son. Oh God, you're the happiness I seek right within my reach here inside of me. Oh God, look at you, giving breath to me through green, green forests. Used to think your life was the fruit of strife, but now I know you, really know you, God. Look at you, smiling at me through so many faces. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, beloved. God, so many faces. What does God have to say? It's now our opportunity, knowing that we are all revealers of truth, it is now the community's opportunity to speak, maybe to share something that came in our quiet time together, an aha, an insight that you've had. We have time for a few folks. I see hands just trying to fight to get up. Thank you. Hi, David.
Sunshine. My name's David, and there are no coincidences.
I've been wanting to finish my bachelor's degree, and the other night I was on the internet and I came across the University of Redlands and clicked on the button. Then all the fears or lies came up, like I don't have enough time work-wise or money, and tonight just sort of clicked in and said, I'll release all that and let it go and trust in God, and here I am.
Yes.
So,
Thank
you.
Ah, my pleasure. Thank you. All right, it's over here then. Hello, beloved.
Hi, my name is Janet. I just wanted to share, I went to my book club last night, and I I had the strange opportunity to express what I really believe about God. There was a woman there who was saying there was no God, life is random, the universe is random, and you know, I wasn't trying to convert anybody or anything, but I just said, well, you know, life isn't random. The stars move in a pattern, the seasons come, the plants grow, we have children, we're born and we die, and none of that is random, and there is some pattern to life, and I can't say exactly what God is or God isn't, but in all cultures there is a sacredness to life, and there is something there, and she kind of, we went back and forth on it a little bit, but it was funny because I didn't know exactly that I thought this until she started saying the opposite.
Wow. How great that we get and that you got the opportunity to know what you really think and that you got an opportunity to express that. Beautiful. Hi, beloved.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Well, what I got was I noticed myself all my life. I would say, I'll manage my money when, when I have more money.
Yeah.
Oh, that's loud.
It's really funny.
Yeah, right? Or I'll, when I make more money, I'll have more time for my family.
Mm-hmm.
When I make, so I got that. Like, I get to do it now instead of tomorrow. So.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. In the small things is how we get to do our big things, by taking care of it now. Hello, beloved.
Sunshine.
Hi.
I like the idea of going out into nature, like you were referring to, and I communicate with nature quite a bit, because I know that they love us to communicate with them, and they share their truth. And so the other day I was communicating with a flower, and it said this: I'm a prairie flower, growing wilder by the hour. Oops, I'm a daisy.
Mm-hmm. I love it. We have a flower communicator. And it's a beautiful thing. Let me get that. Go ahead, quickly.
Okay. Hi, my name is Nancy. I got an email today from a very good friend, and it was one of those to love our nation because it's a Christian. It's a
Pretty loud. I'll hold it. Hold it closer.
Okay,
There
it's
you
a
go.
Christian
There you
nation.
go.
So I took a little umbrage with that because my daughter married a Muslim, and anyhow. So I just said, but Evelyn, there's many paths. And she emailed back, yes, but only Jesus died for us. So at that point, I just let it go because like you, I wasn't going to convert her, but I also felt I needed to say something because we're not a nation of just Christians. There's many diversities.
Mm-hmm. There's many, many paths, and we get to understand that life is expressing beautifully and magnificently as each and every one of us. And that in the divine way in which life shows up, it is indeed perfect. It is indeed for us. And we have opportunities to really know our truth and to express it, or to simply be with it and to know it. And to know it a little more so that we can express it a little more fully. If you didn't get a chance to speak on the microphone, grab Reverend Mary afterwards and talk to her about it. No, please. We gather in the family room in just a little while. So please share with me and share with the community. If you didn't have an opportunity to speak in the bigger group tonight, don't leave home with a heavy heart or something on your mind that is left unsaid. Please utilize all of us, the community at large. And there are folks that I want to make sure that I thank tonight, in particularly our practitioners who are holding vigil, holding the light. We have Sandra in the back and also Ed Cox. Thank you so much for your practitioner presence and for just simply knowing the truth about the perfect unfoldment of this service. And want to thank Candace Young-Schultz, who represented the practitioner corps here on the podium with her beautiful prayer and the reading for today. If there's something on your heart and if you'd like prayer, as she mentioned earlier, our practitioners are going to be available in this little chapel off to the side. It is their joy to pray with you and to know the truth for you and to know it with you. So please don't leave without a prayer if that is what you're being called to engage in tonight. Otherwise, the rest of us are going to be in the family room. Our bookstore is open tonight, so if you want to pick up our book of the month, our books of the month, feel free to shop and browse in there. I want to thank our musicians tonight for the ministry of music. And of course, Jenny and Ed and Annette and Tim who are doing our video. And for those of you who are at home live streaming, thank you for joining us and being here with us tonight. And our ushers, everybody. You know, I got this gift just before service today. And how's it look? Yeah. This gift right here kind of goes along with something in our programs, and it's the Gourmets for God. So make sure you take a look at this flyer tonight. We're actually we're seeking our good to show up as hosts for Gourmets for God. We're going to have a table outside so you can sign up and get some more information. If you love to cook and entertain, our goal is to have 55 hosts for our Gourmets for God fundraiser. It's a fundraiser for Seaside. So if that's something that is calling you, then by all means just stop by our table tonight and get some more information and sign up to be a host. And maybe you'll get to wear one of these cool hats. We'll get to check out your gourmet skills and all of that good stuff. I think that's it. I'm feeling complete. What about you? Yeah? Perfect. Then you know what we're going to do? We're going to pray. But how do we pray? We sing. That's right. We're going to sing our prayer tonight. It is in your bulletin, but you will know it.
This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see. With open hearts and open hands, we lift our voices, in love we stand. This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see. With open hearts and open hands, we lift our voices, in love we stand. This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see. With open hearts and open hands, we lift our
how it is. See you in the family room, everyone. Good night.
When I name it, I claim it, and I see it everywhere. When I name it, I claim it, and I see it everywhere. 'Cause it's mine, oh mine, never-ending love of the divine. So I name it, oh, I claim it, and I see it everywhere. Yes, I see it everywhere. Yes, it's mine, oh mine, never-ending love of the divine. When I name it, oh, I claim it, I see it everywhere. Oh, I see it everywhere. I see it everywhere. I see it everywhere. Well, thank you.